Congressman Ken Buck joins me now. Thank you very much for being with us. So I want to begin by playing some new comments from the Speaker just this morning. Let's listen.
We got members working, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward on Tuesday to pass these bills. I still believe if you shut down, you're in a weaker position. You need the time to fund the government while you pass all the appropriations.
So, Congressman, you were a member of the Freedom Caucus. You were one of the 5 who who voted against the defense bill. It's the first time it came up, and then I think voted for it the second time. But where do you stand on whether or not there is a short-term solution, a short-term continuing resolution with Ukraine money, without Ukraine money? Tell me where you stand.
Well, I think we have a short-term solution. Kevin is going to put a bill on the floor. The members of the Freedom Caucus and others who are concerned about spending too much are going to get a few bills on the floor that reduce spending. At the same time, we add the Department of Defense bill that increases spending. So I think that was part of the compromise. The other part of the compromise was to take some of the Ukraine funding out of the Department of Defense bill and have a separate vote on that. No doubt in my mind that vote will pass in the House for the Ukraine funding. So overall, I think Kevin has done a very good job in putting a package together that will get some of these appropriations bills passed. Then we move on to the continuing resolution the next day, and I think that Kevin has an idea anyway on how to get that done. If not, the Senate will pass something and send it over to the House. So I think we avoid a shutdown. I hope we avoid a shutdown. It's not good for anybody to have a shutdown.
Would that separate bill with Ukraine funding pass before the continuing resolution, or you would do the continuing resolution first and revisit the Ukraine money down the road?
So the Ukraine funding is just a small portion. It's not the supplemental that the president asked for. It's just a small portion that's in the Department of Defense appropriations bill. So the Department of Defense appropriations bill, I anticipate, will pass now, and then the Ukraine funding bill will pass, and they will be combined again to send over to the Senate as our appropriations on defense.
And why will the defense bill, you couldn't even get a rule passed the other day. It's the second time in a row that the Speaker of a majority party could not get a rule passed. That's automatic. So why would a rule pass for the defense spending bill now when it didn't just 2 days ago?
Because there were 2 or 3 people that voted against the rule this last time who wanted to see some of the spending cut bills passed before the Department of Defense bill, which raises spending. And then there were 1 or 2 people who wanted to see the Ukraine funding portion of the defense bill pulled out. And so Kevin has done both of those things to put a bill on the floor that I think you'll see almost everybody, if not everybody, vote for the rule, and most of us vote for the bills themselves.
But the bills themselves are below the spending agreement that averted the debt ceiling crisis. So do they have any chance of passing the Senate? This was a deal that everyone signed off on, and that House Republicans, a small group, are forcing the House to go against.
Well, Kevin, when he ran for Speaker, promised a spending number at 1.471. The number that he negotiated with the president was significantly higher than that. So you've got 2 groups that are relying on 2 different numbers in the House. There is a compromise number at $1.52 trillion, and I think that's probably where most members end up to get things done. I don't know if they will pass the Senate, but I do think that they will get through the House.
We're going to have to leave it there for now, but good luck with all of this and getting something passed and giving any confidence to financial markets or to our allies, because I'm hearing that here in New York at the UN, like what is going on in Washington. It is becoming an increasingly global story as to the dysfunction in our ability to fund our own government.
I understand.
You probably share some of those views as well from your faction. Thank you very much, Congressman Ken Buck.